Forsooth, when David dwelled in his house, he said to Nathan the prophet, Lo, I dwell in an house of cedars, and the ark of bond of peace of the Lord is under skins. And Nathan said to David, Do thou all things that be in thine heart, for God is with thee. Therefore in that night the word of the Lord was made to Nathan, and said, Go thou and speak to David my servant. The Lord saith these things, Thou shalt not build me an house to dwell in. Certainly I have not dwelled in an house from that time in which I led Israel out of the land of Egypt till to this day. But ever I have changed places of the tabernacle, and have dwelled in a tent with all Israel. Whether I have spoken namely to one of the judges of Israel, to which I commanded that they should feed my people, and said, Why hast thou not builded me an house of cedar? Now therefore thou shalt speak to my servant David. The Lord of hosts saith these things, I took thee when thou pursuest the flock in the pastures, that thou shouldest be duke upon my people Israel. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest, and I killed all thine enemies before thee. And I made to thee a name, as one of the great men that be made worshipful, either famous in earth. And I gave a place to my people Israel. It shall be planted, and shall dwell therein, and it shall no more be moved. And the sons of wickedness shall not defile them, as from the beginning, from the days in which I gave judges to my people Israel, and I made low all thine enemies. Therefore I tell to thee, that the Lord shall build an house to thee. And when thou hast fulfilled thy days, that thou go to thy fathers, I shall raise up thy seed after thee, that shall be of thy sons, and I shall establish his realm. He shall build to me an house, and I shall make steadfast his seat into without end. I shall be to him into a father, and he shall be to me into a son. And I shall do away my mercy from him, as I took it away from him that was before thee. And I shall ordain him in mine house, and in my realm, into without end. And his throne shall be most steadfast without end. By all these words, and by all this revelation, so Nathan spake to David. And when King David had come, and had set before the Lord, he said, Lord God, who am I, and what is mine house, that thou shouldest give such things to me? But also this is seen little in thy sight. Therefore thou hast spoken of the house of thy servant. Yea, into time to coming, thou hast made me worthy to be beholden over all men. My Lord God, what may David add more, since thou hast so glorified thy servant, and hast known him? Lord, for thy servant, thou hast done by thine heart all this great doing. Thou wouldest that all great things be known. Lord, none is like thee, none other God is without thee, of all which we have heard with our ears. For who is another as thy people Israel, one folk in earth, to whom God went to deliver and make a people to himself, and to cast out by his greatness, and dreads nations from the face thereof, to which people he delivered from Egypt. And thou hast set thy people Israel into a people to thee, into without end. And thou, Lord, art made the God thereof. Now therefore, Lord, the word which thou hast spoken to thy servant, and on this house, be it confirmed without end, and do as thou hast spoken, and thy name dwell, and be magnified without end. And be it said, The Lord of hosts is God of Israel, and the house of David his servant, dwelling before him. For thou, my Lord God, hast made revelation in the ear of thy servant, that thou wouldest build to him an house. Therefore thy servant hath found trust, that he pray before thee. Now therefore, Lord, thou art God, and hast spoken to thy servant so great beneficency, and thou hast begun to bless the house of thy servant, that it be ever before thee. For Lord, for thou blessest, it shall be blessed without end.